when I was in basic training, I was chosen to be a student instructor, and I put the second class of 5 glider pilots through the basic training, and they had graduated and were ready to move on to advanced training. And when we went up one day with a student, and we came back. It was the last day, and I was going to make him an instructor to take my place. He'd be a student instructor. We cut off at 4,000 feet, and it was a Taylorcraft glider that the engine had been taken out and the nose had streamlined, 3-place. So at 4,000 feet we cut off, and I said okay to him, do a 2-turn spin to the right and a 2-turn spin to the left and take her in. And so he did a 2-turn spin to the right, but when he popped the stick to bring it out of the spin, the stall and the spin, all of a sudden the nose dropped down and we started diving, and I said, pull her out. And he said, I can't get the stick back. And I turned around real quick and looked back, and sure enough, he was pulling for all he was worth, and we were still diving. And about that time, the glider, the centrifugal force, the glider came out of the dive and went up, and went right up, just like he'd pulled the stick back, but it was really just the energy of the wind over the wings that brought it out. Well, anyhow, we got right up to a stall, and I grabbed a hold of the stick and pushed my feet against the dash, which gave away a little bit. I must have crunched it, and I've told this that I bent the stick, but I don't think I really did. I don't think you could bend that stick, but nevertheless, I saw that it was helpless, that we couldn't get the stick back, and it started to drop down into a dive again. And just as we stalled, I said, bail out, and he rolled out the back door, and I flipped the front door up, and I rolled over the side just as it was coming out of the stall and the nose was dropping. And lo and behold, the canopy, the front canopy raised up. It was supposed to be torn off if you were in a wind, but it didn't break off. Instead, it flopped back down on my leg just as I went over the side. It caught my pant leg somehow, and just temporarily, I had to kick myself loose from that lid, from the lid that came down on my trousers, and it just temporarily stalled me. I kicked myself loose, and just at the same time, I pulled the ripcord on my chute. Well, the glider took off and dived, and my chute opened up, and for a little while, it was a wonderful feeling. I was just floating there. It was silent. You could hear the glider swishing down through the air. And about that time, we felt safe. Lo and behold, the glider came out of that dive again, and here it came back up over in a loop. And it did that twice. And the second time it came over, it was very close to my chute. Too close for comfort. And we were both praying that glider wing would not catch our chute, because had it caught our chute, it would have taken us down and killed us. Nevertheless, the last time it came over, it looped away. Maybe the wind carried or whatever it was, but or it was an answer to prayer, but it did veer away, and it dove into the ground upside down. We landed just seconds later, and of course there was a very strong wind. In fact, we came in because there was a 35 or 40 mile an hour wind, and we were signaled to all come in and land. So when we landed out east of the airfield, this was at Fort Sumner, New Mexico. We were real close to one of those windmills and water tanks that water cattle over in this field. But also down in that grass, you don't see it, it's just full of little cactuses. So for the next 2 days, we spent picking cactus out of our hides. Of course, the bailout caused a lot of concern. Why did you do that? And the lieutenant that called us in tried to call us in at different times and tried to get us to say something that was conflicting from the other one. But he didn't. He never found it. Our stories stuck together, and but he actually tried to put a guilt trip on us that, well, you guys must have done that. I heard that you said that you would like to bail out sometime, and I said I did say that, and apparently somebody told him that, but we didn't. It was an emergency deal. And it was about a month later I found out when he popped the stick forward, what caused this stick? The stick that no one was sitting in went under the canvas of the seat ahead of it. He popped it so far forward, it caught under that canvas, and we couldn't get it back. And so that's why the stick, it wasn't completely forward, but it was forward enough to put us into a dive and then come out and begin to loop. So I did find that out later, and it was a real comfort to know that there was a real reason that we didn't bail out just for the fun of it, which I don't think I ever would have done, even though I may have said it. But it was a harrowing experience, and I wished I could find the glider pilot that I bailed out with, but now I regret that I didn't keep track of his name, as well as I wished I'd have kept track of the glider pilot that pulled me into the Burma rescue mission. But you don't think of it at the time, and now when I really want to know, it's too late. They probably either have taken their last flight or you just don't know who or where they are. But we did have some harrowing experiences during the war, and I'm just thankful to be back in the good old USA safe and sound.